We're back in here, folks, on a Friday. Hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Crimson Tide football news. Alabama football on a bye week this week, but we're still here. We're still rocking. Team No Sleep. That is Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, giving you Bama football 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year in an entertaining fashion. Be sure to give a thumbs up on the show, like the show up, hit that subscribe button, and turn all of those notifications on so that way you can have the best in news, notes, and alerts here on your Crimson Tide. For all of the calls in the queue right now, be sure to hold on until the second call segment coming up after this. We will definitely get to your calls in the second call segment after this right here. So here we go here. We can look at some super chats to shout out right now before we get into the next topic. We got Randy Harris. Randy Harris, they're donating that $5 via the super chats there. They appreciate that love there from Randy Harris. That call segment's coming in 10 minutes, folks. Call segment is coming in the next 10 minutes. But we look at this right now. The draft stock for Dylan Moses. The draft stock for Dylan Moses hinges on next week's matchup between Alabama and LSU. We're about to hit the second half of the season. So if Moses wants to show NFL scouts, coaches, GMs, owners that he is still need to be looked at as a first-round value, he has got to turn it around now, starting with this matchup here against the LSU. I mean, he's had a decent season this year, but he has not had the year that people expected him to have coming into the season. I mean, sure, he's been making the calls on the field and, getting guys lined up and doing those communicative, talking things to make sure that guys are flying around the ball. And that's good and that's important, and I don't want to undersell that. But at the same time, the major marquee plays that you expect for a starting middle linebacker at Alabama on a Nick Saban defense to make, he has not been making those types of plays this year. Now, through 6 games, Dylan Moses, 50 tackles, first on the team, 5.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, 1 interception on the season. But this has to be the game where we see there's first round Dylan Moses. There's the Moses we thought we were going to get when he chose to come back for this season after hurting his knee in August camp last year. Here is the Dylan Moses we all had our highlighters and underlining and putting the star by and penciled in that we thought we were going to get, or we thought we were going to see. And the reason why this has to be the game, Dylan Moses, when it comes to the LSU Tigers, Dylan Moses is public enemy number 1 for that team, for that fan base, for that school. I mean, as bad as it was in 2012 for LSU fans to watch Landon Collins choose Alabama over LSU and to watch the frustration on Landon's mom, on her face, as she watched her son choose Alabama over LSU, as difficult as that was, and that was difficult, the saving grace for that was, at least in Landon's case, he hails from New Orleans, right? In 2017, Dylan Moses is from Baton Rouge. He's from LSU's backyard. He played ball at University Lab School in Baton Rouge before he took the trip to IMG Academy his senior year to play at Bradenton, Florida with Dr. Matt Ray and Coach David Ballou as his strength and conditioning guy. So before he took the trip to IMG, his freshman through junior seasons, he was at University Lab School in Baton Rouge. So this was in the backyard of LSU. This was in the backyard of Tiger Nation. So fans of the Bayou Bengals are literally thinking, we got Dylan Moses. Like, we got him. There is no reason why he should not choose LSU. And when he spurned the Tigers to go to Alabama, you had a lot of fans go, okay, that's the last straw. Bump Dylan Moses. I hope this happens to him. I hope that happens to him. I hope you had LSU fans wishing the utmost worst for Dylan Moses when he made that move to come to Alabama over LSU. And you still have Tiger fans wishing the worst for Dylan. And what's crazy is Alabama has a lot of Louisiana guys, natives on the roster. When you talk, Christian Harris is from Baton Rouge. Christopher Allen is from Baton Rouge. Fidarian Mathis is from Wisner, Louisiana. Devontae Smith is from Amite, Louisiana. Slade Bolden is from West Monroe, Louisiana. So Alabama's got some, Louisiana dudes on this roster, but it's like Dylan Moses is the one that garners the most hatred. Because to them, he's the one that got away, right? To them, he's the one that eluded them, right? So in this sense, here is the game here for Dylan. You go home to a program that hates your guts, a fan base that hates your guts. You go back home and you have an opportunity to really go out there and dominate on the field and show NFL scouts I'm the same Dylan. Like, I know I've been kind of going through some things the first 6 games. I haven't been playing like myself the first 6 games. But if he wants to show that he's for real, a first-round type of pick, because right now, Dylan is looking more like a second to third round guy. So if he really wants to show that I'm first-round value, this is the game. This is the game. You are on the road. You are at Tiger Stadium. You are in Baton Rouge with Mike the Tiger, Ed Ogeron, and the whole clique. This is your game to go out there and to put up, big numbers and tackles for loss, create a couple of sacks if you can, create a couple of turnovers if you can get them. This is the game where Dylan has to show I'm the head honcho of this defense. I'm numero uno. I'm the guy. It took me a minute here. I was in fear a little bit trying to get over this injury, but I'm the guy now. I mean, because every middle linebacker in Alabama history under Nick Saban, of course, every middle linebacker that has played under Nick Saban at Alabama, those, of course, that went first round, they all had games where they dominated, and people looked at those guys as they're the best player on the field. They're the best player on defense. They're the best player out there. I do not want to get in a fight with this dude in the alley by myself. I will not be able to handle it because that player right there is the best player on the field. And you look at Rolando McClain, he did it. He was drafted in 2010, first round, number 8 overall. But when Rolando McClain played from 2007 to 2009, McClain was the best linebacker. He was the best player on that field, point blank, period. 2012, Donta Hightower was drafted in the first round, number 25 overall in the 2012 draft. When Hightower played from 2008 to 2011, he was the best player on the field. He captained an Alabama defense in 2011 that led the nation in all 5 major categories. When you look at C.J. Mosley, who was taken in the 2014 draft, first round, number 17 overall pick, he was the best player on the field when he played during his tenure from 2010 to 2013. Reuben Foster, when he was drafted, 2017, first round, number 31 overall, best player on the field, heat-seeking missile, Mr. Light Show butt up. That was Reuben Foster when he played from 2013 to 2016. You couldn't stop the dude. He had games where he just took over. And then last but not least, Rashaan Evans was drafted 2018. First round, number 22 overall. He was on the field. He lit people up. He ran around the field. That's why he earned the nickname Razor, because he was sharp like that. So those guys, when you watch them at middle linebacker, at Mike linebacker, you knew they were the best players on the field. They were the best players on the team defensively. They were the captains. They were the anchors of those defenses, and they had games to where when they took over, NFL scouts saw they're the best player on the field. That's a first-round pick. that's a top 5 pick. That's a top 10. That's a top 15 guy. So for Dylan Moses, seeing that he comes in this long lineage of guys that I just named here, Dylan Moses, seeing how there is an expectation when you play middle linebacker, Mike linebacker, there's an expectation of playing that position in a Nick Saban coached defense. This week coming up right here against LSU, this has got to be the week where he turns it on. It's now or never. It's the second half of the season. He has got to strap up, and he's got to play. He's got to strap up, and he's got to play. And he's got to play now, because if he doesn't go out there and go all in against LSU, I don't know, man. I don't know. If he doesn't go all out there and go all in against LSU, then we're looking at a guy that, is he okay with second round, third round, maybe even fourth round money if he drops even lower than that? So this game right here against the Tigers, this is Dylan Moses' game, now or never. You're going back home to a place that absolutely hates the ground you walk on. Show them you mean business by playing a lights-out game against LSU. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.